Then welcome to TV47 News Now. Glad that you could join us to tell you what is happening in the country. My name is Stanley, Nyaringita. Start off, President William Ruto and his deputy, Professor Kithure Kindiki, have toured Kitui County, where they officially launched the newly built Kamwongo Market in Mwingi North. Speaking during the event, President Ruto emphasized that Kitui's progress will be driven by tangible development projects rather than divisive politics. He urged leaders to focus on service delivery that directly improves citizens' livelihoods. Residents and local leaders expressed their gratitude for the project, pledging their continued support for the government as it seeks a second term in office in 2027.
Mwingi hii na Kitui itabadilishwa na miradi na mipango ya maendeleo kama hii soko, hiyo barabara tunajenga, stima tuwaongezee. Kitu tunataka ni hapa pawe mahali pasafi, ndio chakula isipate uchafu. Iko ICT hub hapa ndani. Kama wewe huuzi mboga, ukuje hapa ufanye kazi kwa mtandao.
Soko ndio hii, stima ndio hii rais ameleta. Sasa sisi tuko sawa.
Hii soko ni ya kiwango kingine na tunaendelea, tunaona tuko mbele sana.
To health matters, the Council of Governors has today launched the Inter-County Maternal and Perinatal Death Surveillance and Response Initiative aimed at curbing maternal and newborn deaths in the country. Speaking during the launch, the health stakeholders raised concerns over the 924 maternal and over 20,000 newborn deaths reported in 2025 alone. On the other hand, Kiambu County has been lauded for recording 0 maternal deaths in the last 7 months. Every year, Kenya records 5,680 maternal deaths and over 33,000 neonatal deaths. The dwindling donor support, shortage of skilled health service providers, shortage of ICU beds and blood shortage have been cited as some of the catalysts to maternal and newborn-related deaths.
The leading cause of mortality for mothers is excessive bleeding. By 31st of October, we had delivered 5,230 women, and this year, out of those 5,000 women, there has not been a single mortality from postpartum hemorrhage, and we have not referred anybody out of the facility due to postpartum hemorrhage.
A mother who was miscarried or has not gone with a baby, born with a baby, which is part of the blessing, cannot be mentally the same as when they went to that hospital. And therefore, we are dealing with a lot of mental cases.
Meanwhile, the family of the late former Kasipul Member of Parliament, Charles Ongondowere, has accused police of harassment following a raid at their home on Wednesday. The officers were reportedly pursuing suspects linked to last week's deadly clashes in Opondo, which left 2 people dead. Speaking to the media today, ODM candidate Boyd Were condemned what he termed as excessive force used by detectives to gain entry into their home. However, Homa Bay County Police Commander Lawrence Koilem defended the officers' actions, saying the raid was conducted in accordance with the law.
I'd like to condemn the acts that we witnessed yesterday. It's unfortunate that the DCI officers, around 10 police officers, barged into our home without any notice, fired gunshots carelessly, without taking into consideration that there were kids in the compound. The residents of Kasipul also here, waiting for me to attend to them.
Following our intelligence, were pursuing the accused or the suspects who were cited at Kwasele. But when they realized that officers were on their pursuit, they left towards Oyugis. So later they were realized to have entered to the homestead of one of our aspirants. So the officers proceeded in attempt to arrest the suspects.
To politics now, Laikipia East Member of Parliament Mwangi Kiunjuri has led a section of Kenya Kwanza MPs in dismissing criticism from the opposition, saying that the opposition coalition has no moral ground to lecture the government. Kiunjuri argues that many of the leaders now criticizing the Kenya Kwanza administration previously held key positions in government but failed to deliver meaningful change during their tenure. He has urged Kenyans to remain patient, assuring them that the current administration is focused on delivering its promises despite growing political noise from the opposition.
Unataka kulinganisha hii serikali ya miaka 3 na ile serikali ilikuwa miaka 10 na ile ingine ilikuwa miaka 10. Watu wakipigana na hii serikali ya William Samoei Ruto, utafikiria amemaliza miaka yake 10. Fitina imewekwa, uchochezi umewekwa, na wale wanachochea wako na historia. Yale matamuzi ambayo tunasikia siku ya leo kutoka kwa viongozi ni kama hawa viongozi hawajakuwa kwa siasa na hawana historia, unaweza fikiria ni mabishops.
Saa ya siasa haijafika. Na this is the time to work for people of Kenya. Na wale wanataka kutuingisha kwa mtego ya siasa, sisi tumekataa kabisa mpaka tufanyie watu wa Kirinyaga kazi. Wakati ya siasa ikifika, tukivaa viatu ya raba, tutawakimbisha mpaka huko Mount.
Into matters devolution, Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja is once again under pressure from members of the County Assembly who are demanding answers after the 60-day ultimatum he had requested to fulfill promises in September officially expired. The MCAs, led by Deputy Minority Leader Waithera Shege, say the governor pledged to resolve issues such as delayed bursary disbursements and poor infrastructure. But little progress has been made. Waithera, however, lauded President William Ruto and the late former ODM leader Raila Odinga for mediating the political standoff that had threatened operations at City Hall, calling for renewed unity between the Assembly and the Executive in order to fast-track development in the capital.
Kulikuwa na impeachment motion ambayo haikuweza kufika on the floor of the House kwa sababu vinara wa vyama zote mbili, the late Honorable Raila Odinga, and may God rest his soul in eternal peace, and His Excellency the President, invited us for a consensus building, and therefore we agreed to give the sitting governor 60 days to sort out his issues, and because he said he'll be able to help the governor fulfill his promises. Remember, he's a UDA governor. We were also elected on a UDA ticket, so we must make sure that he fulfills those promises.
Kwa hivyo tunaomba serikali ya county iweze kuangalia MCA wakae ngumu, kwa sababu tumeona pia ni kama governor kuna mahali anarara. Wakalie yeye ngumu ndio pia nchi yetu iweze kuendelea mbele.
And still in Nairobi, tension has gripped Thome Estate after police officers arrived to evict residents from a disputed 55-acre parcel of land. Both informal settlers and a private developer are claiming ownership of the property, sparking fears of violent confrontation. Residents say they have lived on the land for years and possess county land allocation documents, insisting that they are rightful owners. They're now calling on the government to intervene and issue title deeds to end the long-running dispute. The private developer, however, maintains that he holds valid ownership documents. Meanwhile, heavy police presence has heightened tension in the area as families fear being forced out of their homes.
Mnyonge kwani ananga nguvu. Tunataka kuuliza rais wetu atusaidie. Juu sisi hatuna kwa kuenda, hatuna kwa kupeleka watoto wetu. Na sisi ni wanyonge. Tunaomba tu serikali tusaidie. Kuna mama wameenda hospitali saa hii. Juu matianga zimetuamusha.
Kazi wa hapa na nimekaa hapa karibu zaidi ya miaka 35. Na shamba yangu iko pale, nimekaa hapa, nimezalia watoto hapa. Kwa hivyo wazazi wangu wote walikuwa hapa, walikuwa wanachuna kahawa kwa michuki hapa, na ninashindwa ya kwamba hawa wanakuja kutunyang'anya shamba yetu ni watu aina gani?
Askari walikuwa wengi, hata askari ni wengi kuliko raia. Kuliko sisi askari wanakuwa wengi. Kama wiki mbili imeisha, mtu amedungwa pale na kisu amekufa. Polisi walikuwa wapi?
From Nairobi to the North Rift, where at least 19 people have been killed and more than 700 livestock stolen since July this year, following a series of banditry attacks along the volatile Turkwel belt bordering West Pokot and Turkana counties. Authorities have reported over 80 cases of banditry within the period. prompting intensified government efforts to restore peace and stability in the troubled region. Speaking at Turkwel after chairing a high-level security meeting with the top security officials from Turkana and West Pokot, Rift Valley Regional Commissioner Abdi Hassan has said security teams have recovered 297 head of livestock stolen in the recent attacks. However, Hassan has faulted Turkana community for what he termed as a lack of commitment towards ending banditry in the area.
Tumekuwa na visa 80. Visa 80 katika sehemu hiyo ambayo inajumulisha ama inahusisha kaunti hizi mbili. Kaunti ya Turkana bado tuko na changamoto kwa sababu idadi ambayo inatakikana kutoka kwao waweze kurejesha hawajarejesha. Kwa hivyo tunawapa tena nafasi kabla hatujawatembelea, kwa sababu tuko na uwezo wa kutembelea yoyote. Procedures of presenting petitions and grievances, but let us not resort to inflammatory statements which can inflame tension, confusion and conflict.
Now, Kenya Revenue Authority KRA Customer Care Officer Evans Oriato has been charged before the Anti-Corruption Court in Kisumu with 3 counts of receiving a bribe, contrary to Section 6 Cap A as read with Section 18 Cap 1 and 2 of the Bribery Act number 47 of 2016. According to the charge sheet, Oriato is accused of soliciting and receiving a total of 500,000 Kenyan shillings from Teresia Kinyi Wasonga on the 31st of December 2021 and 13th of January 2022 in Kisumu town. The money was allegedly intended to influence the reconciliation and approval of an audit report related to tax arrears for Jane Adeny Memorial School. Teresia Kinyi Wasonga, together with other witnesses, attended the case mentioned before Magistrate Benson Ireri. Oriato was released on a bond of 500,000 Kenyan shillings.
A surety of similar amount at this juncture. No cash bail is granted. Give me a measure date before court 1 for pretrial. 25th. Matter be measured on 25th of November before court 1 for pretrial.
To sports news now, and Kenya is ready to host the 2025 Road Cycling Africa Championship in Kwale County from the 19th to the 23rd of November. This is according to Sports Cabinet Secretary Salim Mvurya, who was speaking during the ongoing Presidents and Secretaries General seminar at Manzoni, Machakos County. Let's listen in.
Session this afternoon, and of course this particular seminar is focusing on athletes.
Yeah.
I just overheard that athletes are yet to get to understand, is the reward scheme, has it become policy?
You see, we have an approved award scheme which was approved in April, and we want to continuously also make it much better. Like now on the matters of allowances for they are called daily subsistence allowances abroad. You know, they were $60 per day. Now it's $200 for players. It was $80 for officials. Now it's $300. You know, so we continue to make this an enabling environment. We have also written to the federations because we have athletes who, you know, were able to win last year, and sometime we have asked them to give us the names so they can reconfirm, so that we can also give them what is due to them. So like gold now it has moved from 750 to 3 million, and you can see we make this better as we go along. And all the other disciplines, we want to look across the board. That is why the policy and legislation will be very critical to move in that direction. Yeah.
Waziri, the theme of this seminar is getting the basics right for Los Angeles 2018.
Yeah.
Right, that definitely wraps up TV47 News Now. More news coming your way at 7 p.m. and 9 p.m., including a weekly dose of matters climate on Green Fix, as we also look at the latest happenings in COP30 in Belém, Brazil. Till then, goodbye.